Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Haxenhunt. Today's video, we've got Mathews Phase 429 up against HOYT's VTM 31. These two bows are probably some of the top two bows of 2023. So really pumped, put them head to head against each other, give you my thoughts, and let you know which one I would go home with today. So if you want to see these two bows perform head to head against each other, go ahead and stay tuned. Really quick, guys, I just want to let you know I do have a new giveaway going on. It's buy a hat, win a bow. All you got to do is go to haxenhunt.com, buy any hat on my website, and that will get you automatically entered in to win my Mathews V3. So if you want a free V3, all you got to do is go to haxenhunt.com, buy a hat, and you'll win a bow. Automatically entered as soon as you purchase a hat. Each hat is an entry. There are only 250 entries. Go ahead and go over to haxenhunt.com, buy a hat, and you could win a bow. All right, first up is going to be that VTM 31. Very solid base. It does come with the stubby stabilizer. I get a lot of requests to take this off in the HOYT reviews, just so you kind of have a very similar thought or similar feeling to the other bow that does not have that, even though that is stock. So we're gonna take that off. Still, very solid base. It did lighten it up quite a bit. I mean, it's a pretty solid stabilizer. So, all right, so we're gonna draw this thing back, let you know how that draw cycle is. It is pushing a little hot. We're like 75 pounds roughly. So it is a 70-pound bow, but it is shooting 75. 30-inch draw, felt pretty comfortable. That back wall, I can kind of let up quite a bit, and it's not yanking forward until I let off just enough. Just draw that back again. Very consistent, like, not like a hard, difficult draw, but like a consistent pull throughout the whole draw process. String angle, pretty good. Not bad at all for a 31-inch axle bow. Shoot this thing and see how it feels. Okay. Shooting pretty, felt like it was shooting pretty quick. It kind of had a decent pop to it as far as like the sound. Let's shoot that again. Feels like it's shooting really fast. I mean, it is dead in the hand. There's no like jump forward. The after shot process, like your follow through, shoot that again and kind of pay attention to that. The bow doesn't really want to go anywhere. So honestly, it's shooting pretty, I don't know, shooting pretty good. The grip, I am used to the HOYT grip. However, like, I'm kind of leaning against it now for a couple of reasons. I feel like it puts a little too much strain on the ball of my hand. Breaks away really clean, feels consistent. Overall, I mean, pretty solid feeling bow. It feels like it's shooting really, really quick. So I am curious to see what it is shooting through the chronograph. We're gonna put this head to head with the Phase 429 through the chrono and see what speeds both of them are getting. But for now, let's grab that 29 Phase 4 and kind of go over how the shot process feels on that. All right, so here is that Phase 429. Very similar balance. I feel like the bow is actually quite a bit lighter. Yes, you do lose 2 inches on the axle, so maybe that could be, you know, the reason why. Grip, for those of you guys that continue to watch all my videos, I have talked a lot of negative stuff about Mathews' grip. I'll be honest, I didn't really give it a fair chance. I tried it once or twice on a personal bow. I didn't like it. I now gave my V3. Speaking of my V3, I am giving that away. I'm giving one of you guys my V3. All you got to do is go to haxenhunt.com, buy a hat to win a bow. Any hat on the website will get you automatically entered in. There are only 250 entries. So again, go to haxenhunt.com, buy a hat, help support me, and I will give one of you guys a V3. There's probably like 150 left now, roughly. Right now there's like 180 as I'm filming this, but once this launches, there's gonna be probably sub 100, honestly. So anyway, go back to the grip. I've spent a little bit more time behind the Mathews grip recently, and my buddy Jared taught me, instead of my natural position where my knuckle kind of goes down, he taught me that on his Phase 4, he shoots with his thumb pointing straight out towards the target, and I've actually had a lot of good luck with that. So again, I want to retract my statement on the Mathews grip. I don't love it still, but I don't absolutely hate it. It is manageable. It is possible to shoot good with it. So I just want to let that be known. Draw this one back. Definitely smoother, easier draw on the Phase 4 than that Hoyt. String angle honestly feels similar, even though you lose 2 inches axle. Let's shoot that again. The back wall, or the valley, back wall feels the same. The follow through shot process though, I don't know, it anchors really well. Feels like it settles pretty dang solid. It feels lighter in the hand. The Hoyt felt like it was a little more jerkier than this Mathews. So, but the Mathews does just sound like it's going a little bit slower. So I am curious. We're gonna throw them through the chronograph and see the speeds with 4 different weighted arrows. Real quick, I'm just gonna smoother draw by, for sure, no doubt, on this Mathews. I don't know, it's a pretty consistent feeling as far as the execution of the shot, the follow through. I feel like in a natural way, the rounded grip that I didn't like kind of allows, I don't know, it just makes it feel more natural to have that natural breakaway where that bow, for a right-handed shooter, kind of breaks to the left. That Hoyt feels more like straightforward, so you gotta reach for it versus just kind of fall over to the side. I don't know if that's just me and my shooting technique, but I do feel like it is a little bit more consistent with the Phase 4. So that being said, let's run over the chronograph right here behind me real quick. We're gonna shoot a 440, 480, 500, and 520 grain arrow, and we're gonna see how each bow performs against each other. First up through the chronograph is going to be the Mathews Phase 4 29, and again, this is set up at 30-inch draw and is coming in hot about 73 pounds. So we're gonna shoot this and see the speeds. This is a 440 grain arrow at 297, so just sub 300 mark. Let's go a little bit of a heavier arrow. This is my 480 grain arrow. Very smooth draw. Looking at 281, so kind of dumped off quite a bit. And I have noticed that the last few videos that the Mathews drops down a decent amount from that 440 to the 480. But then with this 500 grain, let's shoot it. Kind of maintains that speed. So literally we went from 280 to 279, basically shooting the same speeds. So now a 520 grain arrow. I like the draw on this for sure. 274, so drop down just a little bit more, not a whole lot. So anywhere from 274 up to 297 with that Phase 4 29. So we are getting pretty decent speeds, but let's shoot that Hoyt real quick and see what speeds we're getting out of that. Okay, so we now have the Hoyt VTM 31. First arrow is gonna be that 440 grain arrow. Same setup, 30-inch draw, and we're coming in hot. I believe it was like 74 pounds. So a pound heavier than what that Mathews is gonna be. So let's shoot this thing and see the speeds it's getting. Solid draw, consistent pull. Okay, we broke that 300. We are 309 feet a second. Wow, with that VTM 31. So definitely shooting quite a bit faster than that Mathews, which would kind of explain the shot feeling feels like it's a little bit more dramatic. Probably just to get that speed. That last little section of that draw cycle kind of grabs me a little bit when I'm pulling back. 480 grain is at 293. So we did not dump nearly as much as that Mathews. That Mathews dumps that to 180 grain or 480 grain all the way down to 280, and that's, you know, maintained 293. So here's a 500 grain arrow. We're at 287. So again, still maintaining pretty dang good speeds out of this VTM 31. Here's a 520 grain arrow. We're at 283. So at that 520 grain arrow, we are still shooting 10 feet a second faster out of that VTM than the Phase 4. So, I mean, speeds definitely are something to look into on a bow. However, I feel like the draw cycle on the Phase 429 is a little bit smoother. That being said, I don't know, with a 29-inch draw, the 31-inch axle platform is a little bit more stable, but with that long riser, the Mathews does kind of make up for that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shoot a few arrows, 3 arrows out of each bow, and kind of go over the settling of each bow and see which one I feel like settles on the target a little bit better. Okay, so first up for a quick 3 arrow group is going to be the Phase 429. Let's shoot this thing and see how it settles. Settles really good. It's a little light. A little lighter than I would want. Obviously, it doesn't have any stabilizers or anything on it. So that's one thing I would add right off the bat. I feel like I can come to full draw, settle on that target pretty quick, and let go. Okay, so all 3 arrows are touching fletchings. Let's grab that HOYT and see how that thing settles. All right, so HOYT VTM 31, definitely more aggressive draw. Okay, I can definitely tell it's shooting quite a bit faster, and it is louder for sure. But I do find myself floating on that target a little bit more than I did on that Mathews. Okay, same size group, but shooting these 2 bows head to head against each other. Naturally, I just want to say HOYT, but I know I don't know, there's just been some changes made with how my form feels and how it's feeling. So honestly, the way it shoots, the way it feels, I'm gonna pick the Phase 429. Feels better in my hand, draw cycle's way smoother, and the shot process, it's a lot quieter and it feels more consistent. Settles a little bit more too. The HOYT obviously is performing a lot better on those speeds, pushing 310 feet a second and just giving you a little bit extra. So that being said, if I'm doing long distance and stuff, I want a little more speed to push that arrow. So that would be taking that VTM. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap up the video for the VTM against the Phase 429. Really appreciate your guys' support. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And here's a couple other videos for you guys, and we'll catch you guys next time.